Everybody. It is Thursday, and I'm glad to have everyone here calling to order the People with Disabilities Committee of the Human Services Commission. If we can start by taking attendance. This is Loretta J. I'm the chair of the committee. Laura?
Laura Inserto.
Linda DiLorenzo.
George?
G. Tran.
George, do you want to? Is George on the line?
I don't think so. He's joined yet. No.
Oh, I thought he was already on. Okay, so do we have a quorum? Is that everybody?
Yep.
Who's on? Okay, so do we have a quorum?
I don't know if we have a quorum because we're missing Barbara and George.
Right, but I think 4 of 6 is. I'm not voting, but I think we're good though.
I think we have a majority. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming, and I look forward to being able to meet in person soon. Okay, so we have good news in terms of our charge. I hope that everyone was able to take a look at it. That the draft charge. It has been reviewed by Jim Baldwin, who is the town attorney, and this is the charge that we worked on together, but he had a chance to review it and make some final edits. He left the edits that he made were really regarding the membership. We had asked him about, for town bodies, who would be either ex officio member or a liaison. He liked the term ex officio for all the town parties who were going to be involved. He concurred with who they would be, which was the first selectwoman, the ADA compliance officer, director of HR, director of special ed. And then Julie, as our director of human services, would be the staff person. We would be housed under human services. That was some of the big questions that we had. We had talked about terms, how long our terms would be for, and he thought that we should. It was decided to be a 3-year term, but that we would be established for 3 years and then reevaluate to determine the need to continue, which seems fair. Jump in and interrupt me along the way if you have questions.
Loretta, I have one question. It's Linda.
Yes.
In terms of membership, I know we had talked about, it looks like from reading it that the Board of Selectmen is going to make the appointments, which is understandable, but we had talked about the composition, that we had hoped certain of the members would either be disabled themselves or family of disabled.
Yes.
What happened with that?
That was a disappointing edit that was removed. And
okay, so that was removed, so we're leaving it up to the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
So yes. Okay. I don't know if that was illegal. I am assuming it was a legal reason why that was not allowed.
Okay.
He didn't
have a conversation?
Justify it, or we didn't ask why that was edited out.
I did not ask why. Okay. This is Julie. I didn't. She will appoint who is, who applies or is appropriate.
Okay.
Okay. And was that it? The other change was, let's see. We do not, Robert's Rules was pulled out and just following the town charter and FOI, which is good. Let's see. Those are the big edits from what I'm catching. Is everyone's looking at it?
Yes.
Or has looked at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? No?
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Loretta.
Well, thank you for everybody, but thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting. This is wonderful and exciting news. Thank you thanks all of you who have been working on this from the beginning. I'd like to give a hat tip to Chris, who led this from the beginning, and to Julie for keeping the momentum going, and being our liaison with the town bodies to bring this forward. Our next steps are we vote on this as a committee, and then it goes to the full Human Services Commission next week, and if approved, then we would then go before the selectmen. But I would just want to say, well, first I think, if there's no other discussion, would we like to bring this forward for a vote?
So somebody would need to make a motion to vote on it, and then somebody would second it.
Thank you, Julie.
I'll make a motion to vote on the charter, right?
Okay, I'll second
Or the
that.
charge.
All in favor of voting in favor for the charge?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, hooray. Thank
Great.
you all. And
Congratulations.
this
That's great.
is time for celebration.
Yeah.
And next week we will have a bigger celebration. And we'll bring it to the full Human Services Commission. Julie, will you share this with the agenda next week?
Yep. Laura and I talked this morning. We're all set.
Yeah.
Terrific.
This is awesome.
Thank you. Okay. No other discussion on that. That was quick and easy. Let's see. Next on our agenda, we have the Sacred Heart University needs assessment. You may recall that these were the Sacred Heart University occupational therapy students, grad students, and they were looking to do a follow-up to the previous needs assessment from a couple of years earlier, and they focused on they were looking at other disability commissions throughout the state for us to reference. Has everyone had a chance to review it?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Review it?
I mean, because we didn't meet last month, yeah.
Right, so it was distributed last month. So, okay, so let's see. I guess I'll give a little summary about it. That would be helpful. It was completed. I'll recognize the young women who worked on it. They're part of the Sacred Heart University graduate program in occupational therapy, and it was completed by Emily Corwin, Maya Demirs, Hannah Goldstein, Juliana Voltaggio. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Juliana, and Colleen Walsh. Let's see. They worked very hard. They focused on 9 different towns throughout the state where they looked at what services are performed by these disability commissions and how they operate. Before they started, they met by Zoom with me and with Julie, I think by Zoom as well.
Yep.
Okay, so they met with both of us before they started. The towns that they looked at were Bristol, New Haven, Tolland, Westport, Ridgefield, Danbury, Berlin, Southington, and West Hartford. And the different town sizes are, most of them are, let's see, most of them are over 20,000, and a few are around the same size as Fairfield in the 60,000 range, 60 to 80, with New Haven, of course, being the largest city. Things that they looked into was whether the towns had, if they used social media as a way of communicating with their community, if they provided education opportunities for the community, if they offered employment services. We asked what department that they were affiliated with, since at this time we were unsure if we would be working truly with Human Services Commission or if we would be with Human Resources or under the ADA officer. So of the 9 towns, 7 of them do use social media, and 7 of them do provide community education and opportunities. Only 2 of them provide employment services and support, and they report to different town bodies and their different groups. Let's see, how can I concise this? None of them are under the Human Services Department, but not all towns have that. They change. Different towns have different names for the departments. One is similar, though, the Department of Aging and Disability Services and Disability Services. So of the 9, 3 of them are under Disability or Aging and Disability Services. Others report to the First Selectman or the Town Council and or the Mayor's Common Council. So that's a quick summary of their results. They provided some very helpful resources for us, links to the different websites for each of the different commissions, as well as contact people. I think this will be a terrific resource to help get us started once the commission is established. They've done a lot of really great homework and background information for us to use to find our footing and develop our marching orders, and to learn from other towns who have already have a commission and established. Are there questions or things that you'd like to focus on in part of a discussion?
This is Laura. It sounds like you were pretty comprehensive, right? And choosing like demographics and backgrounds for the different towns. Did they put a report together for you? Yes,
that was shared. It was shared during the last. If you look through the April committee meeting, it was attached to the minutes, but to the announcement. But because we didn't have a quorum, we were unable to discuss it.
Got it. Okay. Yep. Was it from you, Loretta, or it was from Julie?
I believe it was.
I think it's from Julie. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Okay.
That was, I think, April 14th was the email.
Okay.
Maybe.
So it was attached to like the agenda and the invitation for the meeting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I was just telling Julie that for some reason when I click on and I accept, I lose the whole bunch of information, and I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. So I got to figure that out.
I think it's because it goes to your calendar.
And it's not there. That's what's so weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You open up your calendar, weird. You don't see it.
No. Nope. I don't know. I might have to ask my computer guy what's up with that, because it's very frustrating. I had to call poor Julie at 5 up. I'm like, Julie, it's gone.
Yeah,
so I will figure it out.
I will resend it then to everybody.
What was that?
I'll resend it to everybody.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah, because I'm looking in I know I read it. It's Linda. I'm looking in my old stuff, and I might have put it in archive because I have so much stuff. Julie, I think it's a good idea if you resend it to us.
Yep, you got it.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, Loretta, would you want to add it? I'm sorry. Do you want to put it on for next month, and we can discuss it again?
Sure.
Okay.
So no other questions or discussion at this time. So let's do that.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Let's see. Our next item on the agenda is our resource directory and planning. And we had started working on this. One of the things that Julie and I had talked about was if this would be a good project for the commission to take on, or if we should continue working on it now as a committee. What is everyone's thoughts here? Does anyone have an opinion on that?
This is Laura. I think you should keep it with the committee, personally. But, if you think you need the resources of the Human Services Commission, then certainly I can't see anybody objecting to that. But it seems like it would make more sense to keep it within the committee.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laura, let me clarify. When I said with the commission, I actually meant the Disability Commission, to wait until there's a commission to take over, not Human Services Commission.
Got it.
So,
okay. Yep.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't clear there. So do we continue to tackle this now and continue to build upon it and work on it, or should we table this for the for the Disability Commission once it is established? I'd love to keep on working on this, but do you have a thought?
I don't see why we can't continue working on it if we have, I guess, when information gets that comes up, if people have ideas about, resources to add to, it does seem to just, that's just my opinion, just to keep working on it. There's no rush for it to be finalized, right?
No rush for finalization, but I think we would want to continue to tighten it and decide how we want to present it, how we want to present the information, and what kind of format it would be. I think when we talked about this, we talked about hosting it on our website. I did have email conversations with the board, with this Department of Education, the Special Ed Department, because they have on their website a lengthy list of resources that pertain to people with disabilities for targeting parents. It's not the
Wait, you're talking about the Fairfield Public Schools website?
Yeah, the Fairfield Public Schools website under Special Education. There's a very lengthy list of resources. It's a great list, but it's not well organized and it's not easy to find information. So I did reach out to them and let them know that we were working on this, and asked about collaborating and creating something where we could work together and not duplicate services. They don't have full control over the content that's on it, and they don't control the posting to the website, so they were not able to work together with us. So
who is in control of that part of the website? Just central office, not necessarily the special ed department? Well,
I was speaking with central office, but it was the special ed department. It seems to be a collaborative, and not one department or person is overall in charge of it, and they said that collaborating would not be feasible for them. So whatever we do would be separate and independent from what is already on the special ed website. It would be, I think, something that we would have to think through as to how we want to organize our content. The Google doc that we were working on, there's 2 separate tabs with different information in different categories. And so if we want to, I think we want to work on this, we need to have people look at it and get familiar with the different styles or ways of organizing information, and then have a discussion about the best way to organize content and organize it on our town website, because that's where it would be housed. And it doesn't appear to have the most flexibility for creating some sort of a searchable database. So that may be something we have to look into in terms of the town webmaster and see what options there are in terms of hosting the information.
Right, because
well, it sounds like to me there's two. Right, it seems like there's 2 issues, because I mean, just looking at the resource directory right now, it's just very there's not a lot of information, right? Like there's not a ton of resources that are listed. So I mean, before talking about the organization of these resources, kind of bulking it up to, make sense to even post, like to have a very thorough, comprehensive directory, and then thinking about how to organize it and how it's going to be searchable on our website, I guess. I mean, I think that we've been kind of like ad hoc, like whoever has ideas about resources that could be important to the population that we would be serving, I guess, would just input information. But is there a way to get, I guess, I don't know, like crowdsource this a little bit better so that we have a lot more information on there?
To crowdsource
that may be
right. Well, that was the idea of the Google Docs. Certainly, I think we can, but the special ed list has a very robust list of resources, but it's just
you mean the town's special ed department, right? And trying to
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Grab information from there and then put it on our directory.
Well, we can do that, and I think we'll have other information that's not just there. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I think there's many other resources available that are not on this list. But I think that finding a way of organizing it so that it's usable. I mean, this list I don't find very user-friendly.
Which list? Which list are you talking about?
The special ed list is not user-friendly.
Oh, yes. It's not user-friendly, no.
It's a lot of information, but it's not easy to use, and it's not easy to find what you're looking for. So that's where I think that our role would be to figure out how we want to present the information, what are the limitations or capabilities of the town website, so that when it is hosted, we can, I don't know, are there search capabilities that we can use? Is there...
well, I know that it looks like, just looking at it right now, there's nothing that's just like Fairfield specific necessarily. It's just a lot of, probably, I'm thinking they pulled a whole bunch of information from the State Department of Ed website and just kind of copy and paste it all on one single, page, rather than having clickable, like having it organized in a better clickable way, a searchable way. I mean, that's just my impression from here. And is that something that we as a commission would be able to have the talent or, background and experience to kind of do that kind of web organization? Because that sounds kind of overwhelming, right, for the people who
right.
are
Well, we wouldn't do it. We would have to come up with content, but what we would have to have a conversation with the town webmaster and see what the town's website is capable of. I wonder, Julie, have you heard anything about updating the town website?
I know it was just passed in the budget that goes into effect on July 1st. I don't know any of the details about it, but I do know that was passed.
Okay.
I think you're right, though. It's Linda. The key, it's a technical thing. You know, the key is how much can the town's website handle, or are they capable of doing? Like, I know a lot of the websites I go on might have resources, but then the resources have links, you know, so you get right to the information. But I don't know how the town works or how sophisticated they are in terms of that.
Right, which is how come I think we have to, if we decide we want to do this, it needs to be a question. But since the town site is being updated, then perhaps that's a question or an ask to bring to whoever's overseeing the new website rebuild, to see if this can be something that having search capabilities or database capabilities to be something that can be built into it. It may not.
Right.
So those are questions that we would want to ask, because that's going to drive how we present our information.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay. Julie, do you know who that would be?
I do. That's Dave Kelly, the IT director.
Okay.
I think that I think that this is probably something that should wait for the new commission to form in terms of how we want to format, and once all the information is gathered. Until we have everything gathered, it really doesn't matter about any of this quite yet, because they have to put that in place and train everybody on how to use it. So those questions will emerge and evolve and may have very easy answers.
Who has to be trained? I'm confused. Who has to be trained?
Well, I'll be the person who's managing the website, so my department will have to be trained on the new way the website goes, and what links get put up, and what is on that website. That comes from me.
Okay. So you are directly involved with putting things on the site.
I am.
Okay. Okay. Well, if it just passed, it's not happening yet.
No, it is not. Yeah.
Okay. So,
but if there's things you want me to, if there are things you want put up now, we can put them up now. That's there's not a delay on that. I just don't have the bandwidth to cull all that information together to put on the website. So we can certainly put more up there. I just need to have the information you're gathering and how you want it on there. It's going to be a one-page PDF or something with links until the new website is up and running.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at, the special ed piece is just like one piece of like the resources we would be looking at, right?
Yeah.
And there's just so much information on that page. It's going to require someone to kind of copy edit in addition to the technical expertise of grouping things together. That it seems pretty I don't know how, I have no idea how the town works in terms of what their capability is, besides just like throwing stuff onto the webpage and the actual organization of the webpage and all the links and all the copy editing that goes into that too. So that seems like a huge I'm just speaking from my own experience with our website for Connecticut Law Help, which we're one of the organizations that runs it, and that's a huge, many people work on that to try to get information updated as much as possible, and to try to make it as user-friendly for people to find information too. So, so I'm just adding that up there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And just looking at like New Haven's webpage on disability services, it's a little, I think it can also be helpful to look at how other towns organize their information as well.
Right. I had looked at Westport for the same reason, and they have a commission page, and that's something that can happen. With the commission, that it's its own page, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier to deal with, like a commission.
Yeah,
page.
I agree.
Okay, so it sounds like we should be tabling this for the time being.
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Then how do
We will have to.
Yeah, too many directions.
Okay, if people are to it, I can contact Dave Kelly and ask him about the specs for the town website rebuild and inquire if there's opportunity to contribute to what the capabilities will be for some sort of a resource directory.
That's more of a me thing.
Yeah,
It's Julie.
I think that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking at New Haven, and I rarely compliment New Haven in terms of how their bureaucracy, just because I work with them so much. But, they have like links, and they have a disability resource book, which is pretty old, from 2009. But it's basically kind of what we were talking about in terms of all the resource, the spreadsheet, at least, that we we're creating. It has all of that information. It's like 30-something pages of 38 pages. Sounds like it's a printable thing, and it's not New Haven specific necessarily. So that could be easily, we could direct people to that, to a handbook similar to that from our own webpage, right? So we could do that. But, they also have transportation resources, housing resources, on top of, what I just talked about, which was the disability resources book. So there's a lot of information out there that we could definitely just start building, kind of thinking about how ours is going to look, too.
Right.
And it's Linda. The Agency on Aging has that as well for the older population. I think on their website, I'm sure they have all the disability resources listed.
And, there's a lot of interesting stuff, too. Like they have this, frequently asked questions kind of thing, like service dogs in restaurants. What's allowed? What are the restaurant's obligations, et cetera. So there's a lot of detail in there on their webpage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would be the one to reach out to Dave, so I will do that. I don't know if they have a bid on the new system or not. I mean, be patient. This stuff takes a little while, so I'll get as much information as I can.
I'm pretty well versed in having websites built as well as managing databases and websites. So now I understand what's involved. But if there's an opportunity for when you speak with him, then to ask if there's an opportunity for community members or commission and committee members to bring forward a wish list for that. Uploading PDF does nothing to it's information, but it's not searchable. It doesn't help when we're for SEO. So when a town member is searching Fairfield, Connecticut, service dogs in restaurants, it's not going to come up in their Google search if it's in a PDF. Mm-hmm. So that's where having the website be capable of having some sort of the content on the page itself and being able to search it, even if it's a link to it further down the page rather than to another page altogether. That offers more benefits for the user.
Okay.
Right. No, that's a good point.
Right. But it will be on the town site with the town system. We don't have a budget to upgrade that for the new commission, so we will.
No, of course not.
Work within those boundaries. But I hear frustration already, and we're not there yet. We're not at a point where we're saying no yet.
I don't think there's frustration at all. It's communicating.
And
they don't know that we're having this conversation unless we bring it to
Julie. Will we be having to develop a budget for this commission?
There is no budget for the commission. No.
Okay, not at all.
Nope.
No.
But I guess my question is, will one be needed, I guess is the way I should have worded it.
For this temporary 3-year commission, there will not be a budget. If this commission chooses to pursue a permanent commission status, that can be part of that charge. As you know, Human Services Commission also doesn't have a budget, but the commission that we're putting forward does not have a budget.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Human Services doesn't need a budget, though, right?
I'm sorry?
We don't need a budget in Human Services because many of our activities fall under the Senior Center and anything social services is involved in, correct? So we wouldn't need a separate budget.
Right. So if the commission decided to take on a project that that required a cash outlay, if that was under the budget of the department and that fell within what we had budgeted money for, that may happen. But generally, if with the Human Services Commission as an example, there's not money spent on commission activities.
Right. Okay.
Anything else on the resource directory for now? Okay. Other business. Does anyone have other business to bring forward? No other business. Okay. Let's see. We can, back to our charge and becoming a commission. Please, if you have suggestions for people who might be interested in being involved in the commission, please bring them forward. Tell them about what's going on. Invite them to follow along and to put their names in to apply to be on the commission. If they'd like to talk with us, I'd be very happy to talk with anybody who's interested. Let's see what else. Any other things? So that's what's going on there. We'll bring this forward to the Human Services Commission next week for a vote. And we'll wait to hear back in terms of what Dave Kelly says in terms of the website for the resource directory. Nee, were you interested in talking further about?
So, Jill, that's what.
About.
I'm sorry. It sounds like there's someone else talking.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's just background noise.
Okay.
What were you saying, Loretta?
I was asking Nee if it might be easier if we just have an offline conversation with a couple of people to talk about the resource directory and brainstorm a little bit more in terms of categories. If someone wants to work together with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I think, when you had emailed me before, for some reason, I thought you were just talking about the spreadsheet and adding more, more resources onto that. But in terms of kind of talking about a bigger picture, about planning with the resource directory online, then yeah, but we could totally talk about that.
So let's talk about that. We'll talk about that afterwards, offline. Okay. Anybody have anything else? No. Well, thank you very much. Julie, do you have anything else?
Nope. Congratulations on getting this.
Great meeting, too.
Done. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all. I put a motion forward to end the meeting.
Yep. I second. Make a motion.
All in favor?
Second it. Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all. Enjoy this beautiful weather.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely.